Hey there, my lovely subbies. It's Heather. Gonna go ahead and shoot a video. Didn't really shoot one yesterday, technically, because I woke up late, which I typically, well, hell, I do because I used to work third shift, so I sleep late. But, anyways, and trying to get people to understand that sometimes, oh my God, it's so difficult. It's like, you'd say I sleep late, and they're like, oh my God, you're so depressed, you sleep 18 hours, and it's like, no, I literally slept 8 hours, 10. Sometimes I do sleep 12, but yeah, like, no, it's not that. It's that my sleep schedule is set different than yours and stuff. But, anyways, I'm shooting the video right now from Jen's place. She came and picked me up. She needed me to watch her kid last night, and she wasn't planning on being back until in the morning hours. But I thought she was going to be able to take me home before she had to go to work, but she wasn't able to, and so I'm kind of stranded here until later. I mean, I could borrow her car and go and then come back, but eh. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, my dogs, because they've been locked up for a while, but they've been locked up before and stuff, but I'm not going to do this to them, like, willingly, like, unless it's like very rare and going somewhere, like very rare, and like just going to my friend's house, and staying gone for 18 to 24 hours, like on a regular is not going to be happening. So, whenever next time she comes and gets me and she's like, hey, can you come over? I'm going to be like, what time are you going to be able to have me back by? you know? I mean, I understand life and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, I have pets to take care of. They are a responsibility. They do have to go potty at a certain time, and all that and everything. And, and I mean, they're going to go potty, but my grandmother, like, she doesn't feel safe to let them out, not even on the porch, and stuff. And so, that's all I can say. But it is what it is. You make do with what you kind of get handed and stuff in life, and you try to make the best of it and everything. And so I'm sitting here right now, and I'm fixing to try to watch some TV, but I don't know if I'll be able to because, like, hers is through a game system, and the remote control's not charged, and so I don't know. I have no idea if I'll be able to watch something here in a minute or not, but, as one thing is like that me and her both enjoy is Shameless. We'll watch it together whenever I'm over and stuff. Like, I'm not used to having TV. I'm used to watching DVDs all the time, but I've got into that. And then last night, while sitting here and everything, I started to watch the Umbrella Academy, and I got the first 3 episodes in, and so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But anyways, so I'm just sitting here chilling. I'm fixing to eat me. I cut up a banana and put some milk over it. Made banana cereal. Hadn't had it in a long time, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, and this thing too is in a video the other day, and I have a feeling that she's done seen it and she done knows or whatever and stuff. But I mentioned something, and she's like, I told my kid, that this, and like, privacy wise, and I was just like, okay. And like, I don't know, like, my mind doesn't, because the gossip in my family has been so strong and so just, I mean, I was the scapegoated child. I, like, literally, I swear to God, my parents and everybody has probably talked about the positions that I've even had sex in to each other. Like, my parent and my grandmother. Like, that's probably a normal conversation between them. And so there has not been any privacy or what little bit of privacy that I ever even tried to have, it got made fun of, humiliated, and everything else. So, what do you do with that? And it's like, you learn, from it and stuff. But at the same time, you just reach a point where you're like, it is what it is. And if it becomes public knowledge, then it becomes public knowledge, and whatever. And you actually kind of step back and realize, you know what? There's nothing that's really private any fucking ways. I mean, yeah, you can try to make things private, and I mean, yeah, I still do to a degree, but then again, not, in all honesty. That's the reason, and that's the reason, like, a lot of people think that, like, that means that you're brave and everything, and stuff like this, and everything, and I get how they think that and everything, but it's not so much bravery as it is just knowledge that, and then I believe in God, and everything done in the dark is going to come to light, so it is what it is. What you did is what you did. What you didn't do is what you didn't do. What you say behind somebody's back, what you don't say behind somebody's back, what you do, all your private business one day is going to be laid out in front of you. Every single damn strand and stroke and everything of it that you never thought would ever come to pass. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. And that is where some true humility comes into play and comes into check and everything. And I know because having narcissistic, mom basically humiliate me, and then her teaching my sister to basically do the same damn thing, that's like I tried to talk to my sister when I was first sexually active about condoms. And instead she went and told my mom. Now, this is the same sister that used to come and just abuse the sisterhood power, I guess you'd say. But, like, I remember, like, 2 or 3 times during the summer her kind of coming in there and being like, hey, come help me roll quarters for gas money so I can go see my boyfriend. And because my sister is waking me up, she's going to spend 5 minutes with me at least before she drives off and leaves me in this hellhole. It's like, yeah, I'll get up with you and help you roll quarters. And these are quarters that are, like, in my parents' room. And they used to have this big, like one of those big popcorn containers full of money. It was just full of change, all kinds of change. And she literally ended up using all of that money. And we would sneak in there. I would sneak in there with her, and we'd take the rollers, and I would help her roll quarters. And then we got to where we was rolling dimes and then nickels, and I would help her. Cat, please stop. You are driving me insane. One of her cats has went crazy ever since they left. But anyways, he actually minded. Thank God. We'll see how long it lasts. But anyways, dang on, what was I saying? Fuck. Oh, but my sister would be like, come in here and roll this with me and everything. And my mom would be like asleep in bed, and my dad would done be going like over to my grandmother's or something or whatever. And so we'd sneak in there and sit in the floor, and we would roll money quietly together, And we'd roll together, about $5, sometimes 10 or whatever. Then I'd hand it to her, and then she'd be like, okay, thanks, bye. And the thing is my parents, like, I thought that they would catch on way before they ever did. And instead, they didn't catch on until, like, we were down at the very bottom and there was, like, almost nothing left. And, like, I got in as much trouble for it as she did. And while I understand that to a degree, they needed to understand that she was manipulating the situation. But then again, they done knew that. That's part of her being the golden child and me being the scapegoated child. But I got in as much trouble as she did for that shit. Like, but anyways, so that was something that we used to do, and I was like, oh, she's spending time with me, because I was so starved for somebody spending time with me. Like, I don't know how many damn times I would set up a board game and I would play both sides. Like I would, and then I got to the point where I pushed myself and I would play all four, like four players around the board, especially like Sorry or Trouble. I'd sit there and I'd play by myself and stuff. Like, my childhood was lonely as fuck. But I adapted. I survived. That's the reason, like, I'm like, does my adult life have to be like that too? And it's like, yes and no and no and yes. And then it's like, well, you had a kid, so no. And then it's like, oh, we're going to be shitheads in the government because your parents say we should be. And they're older, so we're going to listen to them and we're going to take your kid from you. Fuck you. And it's like, you realize that my child's seen porn because of my parents. Not because of me, not at my house, not at my home, but at their home. And you're allowing them to raise her. Yeah, way to go, government. You're trying to make her into this superficial, unintelligent, thing that she's not, and she's not going to be. And you want her to jump every time you say, to believe in something, and you don't want her to have her own opinions, her own mind, her own thoughts, and everything else. And then my parents, because of the corruption, they've dictated to her, which is funny because they've dictated to her that I was trying to control her every thought, her every move, and her every everything. And that's the reason, like, I'm like, you full of shit. Like, yeah, I might have been like, here's what we're buying clothes wise because this is what we got to deal with and this is what money we got and everything. But I explained to her why I came to the decisions that I came to throughout her life. And for as far as like, hey, this is your room. Go decorate it how you want to. My parents, oh my fucking God. My mom, I had to look at fucking pictures of goddamn Mickey Mouse on the fucking wall until I was like 15 years old. Like, I was like, can I take that down? Because, like, it's been there forever. Can I just put another picture in on top of it? I'm tired of looking at Mickey Mouse, like, and Minnie Mouse and Goofy, like, can we take it down? And, like, literally, like, I would think I was, like, 15 because, my dad finally, because we got into an argument, me and my mom, about it or whatever. And, like, I started crying because my feelings were so hurt because I was like, do you know what it's like to have people spend the night on the rare occasions that I do? And they're like, why do you have a Mickey Mouse picture up in your room? And, like, it was obvious that it was, like, done because of a nursery, or whatever. And my mom even admitted that, those were pictures that were in my sister's nursery or whatever, her bedroom when she was a kid, when she was a baby. And I'm like, can we take it down? Can we do something with it? And so, like, literally, I started crying one day, and my dad's like, why are you crying? Because, like, I was angry, and it was obvious that I was angry, and then I just kind of burst out crying instead of getting angry, but he realized something was not right, because I went from, like, just standing there, like, with clenched fists, and just, and I was like, and you don't get it, or something like that, and then I just walked off, and then I just let out this big sigh, and like, and I started crying, and he's like, what is it? And I was like, goddamn fucking Mickey Mouse picture hanging on the fucking wall, been there my whole goddamn life. I just want to put up something that I like. It's my room, I just want to put up something that I like to see, And whenever I said that, he talked to my mom, and he's like, let her do what she wants to. And then my mom still was no, 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 no. And my dad just come in behind her and was like, do what you want to. And so, like, literally, I remember I took everything down. And for that whole, like, last year that we were there in that, way to go, Cat. Oh. This cat is hell on wheels in the morning, obviously. But, and it's the kitten that she's got, but damn, like, he don't even play with his toys. He just jumps around. But, anyways, fucking hell, man, that upset me. He just knocked the remote that I'm trying to charge in the friggin' floor. But, anyways, fuck, what was I saying? Oh, the picture or whatever. So ended up taking it down and putting up a bunch of posters. And I remember I had this black, like, like fabric, like almost like a flag or whatever. I didn't get rid of it. Freaking Lance and his damn asshole, like, fucking shit that he pulled and he did. Like, him and my sister together. I had this one box. And it had, like, some stuff I wanted to pass down to my kid in it. And it had that. And it had all my friggin' yearbooks from when I was a kid. Every damn one of them. From kindergarten all the way through middle school. And he trashed it. That's my ex-brother-in-law. Trashed it. Him and my sister trashed it. I could cry about that in all honesty. And concluding, I battle depression. And, you know, how people, like, sign, you know, every year. And then, like, I talked about Tiffany that passed away. This girl that I knew and everything. And, like, I'd known her my whole school time, you know, and like, so her signature and her, you know, have a great day and I love you, girl, and all that, it just got thrown away. People are, oh my God, I'm depressing the shit out of myself. I literally want to fucking kill myself right now just thinking about it. I have been done dirty by every fucking body that I know. It makes me want to hide away and not have to deal with anybody. And then people wonder why you like pets. And, you know, like, why some people like pets, you know, as family, you know, because it's like, oh, you know, cut them off. They're not family, you know. Well, you know, come to the logic that they are a hassle, you know, or there's something to take care of, you know, and they shouldn't be considered as, you know, family members and stuff like that, but they are. They are. I mean, obviously, if you seen my video the other day, Clarabelle, her little head just right here in my, you know, laying on my neck, and she was sleeping, and she was snoring. Y'all couldn't hear her over me talking. She was snoring so good. Like, and it's just like my little baby, you know. It's like my other children, you know. But, and it literally is, you know, and it's like, but then again, it's not, but it still is pretty fucking close, you know. But, anyways, so I decorated my room the last little bit. We was living in our old trailer the way that I wanted to. So that was pretty decent, I guess. I don't even know what the fuck, like, how the hell I got on the topic. My sister, rolling coins, gas money, her not spending time with me, the narcissism, like, the selfishness, like, I don't know. Like, I fucking hate life right about now. Like, legit. Like, people just amaze me. But you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You know, like, that's the saying that I've always heard. And I believe it. I believe it. But then in believing it and me saying that, there's some people that be like, oh, you believe it, so that means that you do it too. I am an oddity because I hold myself to such a high standard. And then people like me because I hold myself to such a high standard. But then they also hate me because of it. And then they think that I'm like some snood little stuck up bitch, you know, or what the fuck ever. And I'm just like, you know, look at me and I'm better than you. And oh my God, you know, and it's like, it's not even that. I mean, yes, you know, I might be realizing that, yes, I am choosing the better behavior some of the time whenever I can catch myself and I don't give in to my human desires and ways and stuff like that. But then that's what pisses me off and depresses me even more at the end of every fucking day is the fact that y'all want to sit there and y'all want to act like we can't do it because of human nature. I'm living fucking proof that you can. So don't sit there and be like, oh, you can't be that nice. You can't. Bullshit. Bullshit. You know? Like, I mean, I know I ain't perfect and I know I'm human and stuff like that too, but damn it, I'm not as human as other people. Oh my god, I need to get back on amino. Like, I found my group of people that I get along with, and I haven't been on there in the past few days. And then I haven't the few days before that because of moving and everything. So yeah, I need to talk to my peeps, if you will. There's this one amino that I'm part of, and I swear to God, I feel so at home. And that's like the reason like I like Jason and I like EJ. Granted, I don't know if I do fully, but I know initially, from the initial moment that I spend time with either of those people, and from the initial moment that I spent time with Adam and Casey and Mike and Steven, and the same is for Jason and EJ, the initial moment that like it's like, hey, we're going to hang out together by ourselves, just the two of us. And it's like, I literally feel like home. And I'm not talking like home abuse, neglect, narcissism, the scapegoated child, feeling like shit, all that. I'm talking, no, it makes me feel like I'm back around my grandfather again for a split second. And I don't mean like I look at them and I'm like, oh God, they're old and this and that. But I feel accepted as a human being, I guess is the best way to word it. Like, I am fully accepted for everything that I am right in front of them. They don't look at me with any type of already, like, judgment set in their fucking mind about me. Like, they're still developing their sense of who I am. They didn't just look at me like my first boss and be like, oh, let me figure them out for a week and then, oh, I found somebody I can pick on, like that's the way that, in all honesty, I feel like my first boss did to me. Because that's the thing too, is the narcissist, that's what they do. That's what they do. And to be a boss of any place, you have to be somewhat narcissistic. We can talk about it all fucking day long, but it's the God's honest truth, and you have to be that. And so you have to find people to target. And it really sucks when people keep finding me to target because they're like, oh, scapegoated kid, like, yeah, that'll be great. And let's keep on with the tradition. And then they sit there at the same time whenever I talk about all my emotions and everything, and they like do the frowny face and they feel sorry for me. And I'm like, then why did you do it to me? Like, can I hold a mirror in front of your face and show you the things that you've done to me that have hurt my feelings? And it's like, when I do that, that's when everybody wants to run and tuck their tails and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And oh my God, you're such a dramatic bitch. And it's like, am I really? Or am I finally standing up for myself going, you know what? Yeah, I've been through hell. Yeah, I've been treated like shit. Yeah, I didn't fucking like it. Yeah, it hurt my feelings. And then y'all go, and then it's like, like the ones that I finally break down in front of because I'm trying to get y'all to, because just like with my narcissistic mother, but I swear to God, you can't change something unless it wants to change. And so I'll go into a workplace, for instance, and start with a new boss or a new person and everything. And I'm like, kind of trying to fill them out and figure out, how narcissistic they are, and thank God, for the most part, there's been quite a few that they're not that bad. They're not that bad. But there's been a few that are friggin' horrible as hell, and I'm just like, holy shit, what have I got myself into? And so it's like, okay, well, let me try to talk to them and let them into, all of this. That way it opens their mind. That way they're not so fucking narrow-minded, and that way they can see. And then when I do, it's like, oh, Heather, you have been through stuff. Well, let's see. I'm 30 years old and I have a 12-year-old kid. Yeah, I've been through stuff. That alone in itself, if I didn't have the shitty family that I had, would be stuff, you know? But no, on top of it, I had a pretty crappy upbringing. So yeah, I've been through some stuff. Sorry that, I don't have it tattooed on my forehead, and sorry that when I come to y'all, y'all are like, oh, sweet little innocent, sheltered baby girl that always got her way, and brat. That's what y'all think of me. I'm not stupid. I see it when you look at me like that. I see it when you look at me like that. Because that is the demented illusion that my family does try to put off on people. My family does try to be like, you know what? She's a brat. We've always catered to her. We were perfect parents. We were a perfect family. We did everything right. We played with her. We gave her all the attention in the world. They try to. But those kids that actually do have that are the ones that grow up to be the narcissists really bad. And they grow up to be very self absorbed, to not care about anybody else's time or money or anything else or circumstances or whatever, and they just plow through it. And then they have the audacity to sit there on the scapegoated people and be like, no, it's you that's the brat, because they got to make themselves feel better, because they can't take on the responsibility, because it would break their little psyche. It would break their heart. It would break their soul. It would break their fucking soul. Oh my God. That just makes me feel even more shitty. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, my soul has been broken so many goddamn times. And I am still here. I am still here. Oh. Some of y'all are pathetic. Some of y'all think that your soul being broken is like fucking, I don't know, like you didn't get your nails painted the right color, or you had to show up late at a wedding, at your own wedding, or I don't know, or you were stuck in traffic for 10 hours, because of a huge massive wreck, or I don't fucking know. Some of y'all got some fucked up shit that y'all think is just like devastating to you and who you are as a person. And I'm just like, you don't even know. or your employees, your coworkers or employees are not behaving in the way that you want them to. And that's like the end of your world right there, especially if you're a boss. Oh my God, my employees are not behaving the way that I want them to. But they're not behaving so badly that I can fire them, but still they're not behaving the way that I want them to. And then even at that, Lord, everybody that's in power, y'all need to take a fucking psychology class, legit. I haven't taken one, but damn it, I've been through so much, seen so much, and everything, and there's still a lot of stuff out there I haven't been through and I haven't seen. But for as far as things that are stressors and things that break you as a person and strip you naked and throw you out in front of the in town, in the fucking middle of the town or whatever, and just lets everybody point a finger and laugh, or shit like that. I have had that happen multiple times. And then these dumbass narcissistic people come along and they view it as, no, it must have never happened because it was so embarrassing when they actually had to, put up with something like gum stuck in their hair. That was humiliating and devastating. Oh my God, Or their employee behaved, in a, I don't know. I don't even know, in some type of manner that they don't see as fit or something. I don't fucking know, man. Just all kinds of shit. Oh, this life is difficult. People amaze me, and I do not fit in with a lot of people, and it is okay. But anyways, like I was saying about Jason and EJ and shit like that, and it's like they are the least judgmental people, or so it feels when I am in their presence. They don't have some like preset, judgment of me, because they don't have a preset judgment of most people, or if they do, it's not people that are like me. I don't fit in that category. Like Jason might look at girls and be like, yeah, whore, thought, or I don't know, or even escort or gold digger or whatever. But it's like he looks at me and he's a little kind of like, what the fuck, like I feel like he just don't get it, and I mean maybe he never cares to get it or whatever, but just in him having that what the fuck, kind of attitude, like, what does she want? Who is she? And allowing me to just be, I'm just me. It's so nice, and the same with EJ, I'm just me. But then, Lord, I did what I did with EJ, and that just flew everything through her mind that she obviously has had major issues with. And it's like, see, you're just like everybody else. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I fucked up one time, and I didn't even fuck up that bad. Like, can you forgive me already? And it's like, I can be just friends with you, I could have. Now she's made the temptation so fucking high of a goddamn thing, by denying me so much, I guess. It's kind of like, you want what you can't have to a degree and stuff. And I mean, it's not like I would force anything upon her, but like I would constantly kind of just be hanging out with her probably, and then every few weeks kind of be like, would you like to try to date me? Because I really do like you. Like, please? Just like when I was standing there and I was like, can I kiss you? Please? And she just stood there. She didn't even answer me. She just stood there. And she just looked at me like, and kept shaking her head like she didn't know, like she couldn't express herself because she herself didn't know fully what she wanted. So, oh, God. Oh, and I had a kid commenting on my videos the other day or whatever, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna write you, and they didn't, like, because I was like, did they mean last night? Did they mean yesterday? When was they gonna write me? They might eventually, so we'll see. But, and he might be my new subscriber, I don't know, because I got another subscriber back or whatever. But I thought it was cute or whatever. And that's one thing is I wrote Jen and I wrote Eddie, and I was like to both of them, because kids I've always been good with kids. Like I have, like, and that's the thing too, is like, isn't that ironic? Isn't it like just bullshit that my parents have taken temporary custody of my daughter, my one and only fucking kid, and they've taken temporary custody of her when she's a preteen, and the government is like, yeah, that's the way to be, that's the great way to be with this person that used to want to, and still kind of does, if life would have been more favorable, but life hasn't. And I'm not going to sit here and push myself extremely hard to go after an old dream, Like, no, you have to be flexible. Life is constantly changing, Like, you have to be flexible and go with the flow of things. And even though you don't have to go with the flow of things, like, completely, but you kind of got to be, somewhat flexible and stuff like that. I'm not going to push myself to the point of insanity just to do something that I'm not no longer as passionate about that I used to be. But I used to want to, run a daycare, babysit, actually be like kindergarten teacher and stuff like that. And kids have always liked me. They just have. And that reminds me even of one of my friends when I was in fucking high school. This kid that was in her family, like, he was like, uh, he had something wrong with him, or supposedly, or he was just a cranky baby. I don't know. But anyway, she's like, oh, they're coming over and they're bringing the baby. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, I know you said you like kids and that kids, like you and stuff. She's like, but, just leave him alone. And, like, if he comes to you, let him come to you, And I was like, you think he's autistic, and stuff. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, but he's just really picky. She's trying to put me outside the circle that I done know that I'm in. I'm done in the kid-friendly circle. And once you're in there, and you didn't even choose it, kids chose it for you. And that's the reason I wanted to be a preschool kindergarten teacher, is because even when I was a kid, I was around younger children, like literally, like I was else around older children or younger children. Like everybody was else 4 years older than me or 2 to 3 years younger than me. And so it's like, I just learned to kind of be that person, but then again not. It was part of my life. I grew up that way and stuff. And so um but dang on, it's like I'm just in the circle of kids liking me, and so she's like, don't be surprised, if he don't like you, and if he doesn't come to you, and if he doesn't let you pick him up, and if he doesn't let you carry him, all this and everything else. I'm like, okay, and I'm thinking, because I was tired that morning. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a human being. I get tired of kids too, to a degree, and it's like, okay, didn't say I was going to take care of him anyways, and plus they're just visiting, aren't they, is what I said to her. I remember I was like, well, they're just visiting, aren't they? They're not leaving him to be babysit. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So me and her are sitting in the living room floor whenever they come in. Like, they come in, we wave at them, hi, I'm Heather, I'm her friend, from school and all that. We're sitting there. This baby walks over to me and her, and she tries to like hug him, and like he kind of pulls away from her, and then he like, I don't know if he just looked at me or waved at me, and then he kind of took a few steps away, come back, and then she hugged him again, and she's like, yeah, see, he's weird, like he just does what he wants to, and he's real cranky and this and that, and and everything. And I wasn't in the mood to argue and be like, well, why is he cranky and what, and all that. And, get into the whole psychological part of reasonings and, was something bothering him? What's the deal? So we're sitting there. Maybe 10 minutes. Next thing I know, this kid just plops down in my lap. And she's like, well, look at that. And it shocked her. It shocked the mother. It shocked the father. And they're just like, can you believe that? And I'm just like, I told you. Like, I'm just like, kids like me. And, I mean, that's just like, dogs and pets. And, I mean, if you got it, you got it. It's not something that you can steal from somebody. That's like me being like, hey, give me your blonde hair now. Like, it's just part of who you are. And if you're knowledgeable about certain things, then you're knowledgeable about certain things. If you have a aura or a presence that you put off that adults like or children like or pets like or whatever, then you do. I mean, that's like even one damn afternoon I was walking my dogs when I was a friggin' kid. And I swear to God, like there was 10 of these kids. There had to have been. Like mama must have been pregnant every 9 months. I kid you not. But, and it was my bus driver that I had, and I'd got dropped off earlier, you know, and I'm walking my dog. And I put my dog up and I decided to go for a walk down the road that I lived on. And I started to go for a walk, and here come the bus, and it stopped. And there was this stray dog that was out, and he was kind of mangy looking, but not too bad. And he was barking at the bus whenever the bus door opened. So the bus door shut again, and I watched it happen, you know. And I went and like tapped on the door, you know, and had the bus driver open. And I was like, this dog's been out here for weeks. It ain't going to hurt nobody. I was like, it just barks at people. I was like, but it won't come to nobody. It's real skittish. It ain't going to hurt nobody. I was like, as a matter of fact, I was out here walking my dog. You know, it ain't going to bother anybody. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, well, girls, go ahead and get off the bus. And these girls would not get off the bus. And like, the oldest one had to have been like in 4th grade. I don't even think she was in 5th grade. And she was petrified, you know. And he's like, will you help them to get off the bus to see? Because they were all Hispanic. They didn't speak hardly that much English, you know, or whatever. And I don't think there was 10. I think there was 7. I think there were 7 kids I got off the bus that day. And they were all sisters. Every damn one of them. And it was like, you know, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten, or something like that. And I remember, like, the one in kindergarten was real small, like my niece is, you know. And, like, I literally, the last 3, because I think it was, like, 1st grade to 1st grade, kindergarten, the last 3, I had to pick them up and walk them over, like, about 10 foot. I had to pick them up off the bus step and walk them over about 10 foot to their older sister, and then go and get the other one. And then I piggybacked 2 of them, or carried one and piggybacked one, like halfway to their house, and walked them all the way home, you know, because they were just so scared of that dog, you know. But I've just always been good with kids and stuff. And so that's another reason that my parents, you know, and like corruption and all that, and like the devil hits you where it hurts and shit like that. And that's the reason people get bitter, and they get to a point where they're like, you know what, I'm not going to do anything that I like because it hurts too bad. Because if you are too, you don't even have to be too extremely happy about something. If you are just too much into something and there is a way to destroy it, because the devil sees it as a tool to destroy you, when you allow it to destroy you, you're allowing the devil to win. When you allow it to make you scared, you're allowing the devil to win. You know? And so anyways, my parents, you know, it's like, oh, let's hit her where it hurts. You know, oh, she's always liked kids. Oh, she wanted a huge family, you know, she wanted a bunch of kids. Oh, she wanted to, you know, be a kindergarten teacher. Oh, she's always had a knack for being around kids. Oh, she's always been good with kids. Oh, she always does such fun projects with the kids, or, you know, make sure that the kids are happy and well taken care of, and this and that, you know. And then here I am, my only kid, and it's like, oh, let's take her kid from her. Because, oh God, she's actually trying to have independence. She's trying to drive and work and live in her own place. No, no, no. No, no, no. She can only, because I'm her father and I'm her mother and I'm her grandmother, she can only live here because it's close to us, and work where we know where she's working, and we're driving her and taking her to work, you know, and we're babysitting our grandchild all the time when she's at work. That's the only way that we're going to let her be happy as an independent woman. It's like, fuck. But anyways, like, I don't know. People fucking amaze me. Life fucking amazes me. But instead of getting scared about shit, look for it. Like, the best thing is, like, to try to look at it as an opportunity. And that sucks. Believe me. I don't want to sit here and go, yay, my kid's gone. Opportunity. You know? Like, no. No. Fuck. Hell. No. I want my child home. But at the same time, I have tried vodka. I've tried whiskey. I'd never tried it before. I haven't done it regularly, but still I've tried it, and I wouldn't have even allowed myself that much freedom if my child would have been home, in all honesty. I would have been like, no, whenever it was offered. I would have been like, no, I'm a single parent. My kid's at home, no. Like, I don't know how I am. And so I got to see what whiskey tastes like and vodka tastes like. And I like vodka and I like whiskey and I really liked vodka. But, anyways, but, it is what it is and stuff. But, it's whatever. I don't know. And it's like, I can take time out to kind of try to find somebody to date a little bit more, or that's one thing that's really pestering the shit out of me. It's like, hey Jason, hey EJ, if you wanted to know more of, like, who I am and making me feel comfortable, and who I am and know me more, and if you cared to, but obviously I guess they don't care to. It's like right now, like I'm just me. It's just me. I'm not mom and me. I'm just me. And then I'm mom. Like mom is second now. Mom used to be first, but now it's second, and it's not because I want it that way. I enjoy being mom first. I love that fucking role. That's like one of the last visitations that I went to. Like I was sitting there and I thought they won, and like I felt defeated, like my parents have won, being assholes, and I just felt so fucking crushed, and I thought like my daughter hated my guts. But then again, it's really hard, when your kid does tell you that they hate you, and then, then they don't, and all that. And I don't have a great guy, her dad isn't sitting there saying, don't listen to her, she's just mad right now. I have nobody saying that. I have nobody saying she's just mad. She's just a teenager, or preteen. She's just, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Instead, I have people going, ha ha, your kid hates you. That's what I have actually happening. That's like even the landlord and the maintenance people, it's like, oh, your kid don't like you? That must suck for you. That makes us feel good about ourselves, and it's like, fuck you, like, sorry that you can't have kids or whatever your deal is or stuff, and that's what makes you feel good, is to sit there and shit on people, like go find somebody else to shit on. Like, legitimately, you are a sick, twisted fuck to sit there and see a single parent and decide that that is somebody that you want to fuck with on an emotional and mental level. There's something fucked up about you. You need to go out, if you want to fuck around with somebody, you need to go out and find Mr. and Mrs. Perfect parents, that have been married for 10 years or 5 years before they ever got pregnant and had a child, and you need to go fuck with their minds, because at least they have somebody to fucking fall back on. But then that. So you want to go after these weak people because you think it's more fun and it's going to benefit you and shit. Like, I fucking hate people. I swear to God I do. Oh my God, I fucking hate people. But, and then sit there and be two-faced. Oh, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. And yet when you see my family, oh, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Take your two-faced shit and shove it up your ass. Like, I fucking had it. And that's the thing, too, is, like, you'd figure, it's like, I've been through all the types of abuse. I've seen the two-faced sides of people, like, you're not showing me anything new, sweetheart. Why do you think that you're going to completely devastate me by showing me the same thing that I've done seen. Like, you want to shock me, show me something that I haven't seen. You want to see me shocked. And see, you don't want to do that because I've been through so much bad shit that it's going to have to be something good for me to be shocked. Like, I swear to God, if something good were to happen, if like, somebody were to show up, knock on the door, and be like, hey, here's your kid back. We decided, to grant custody back, or whatever. Or if, I don't know, like, say her dad showed up and was like, here, here's the child support, Or if Jason or EJ showed up and was like, yeah, I do want to date you, or yeah, you seem interesting and I would like to talk to you. Or, I don't know, just something, I would be like, what? Can you repeat that? Like, what just happened? A miracle? Holy shit, like, are you kidding me? Like, oh. But it's like bad stuff, it doesn't, it just reaches a point where it's just like water. Oh, it happened. It is what it is, it just happened. But, fuck. God. But I guess I was built for this shit. That's the thing too, is I told Jen, I was like, I had deja vu about the way my room looks right now at my grandmother's. So there is something somewhere that foreseen or knew that I was going to end up being back at my grandmother's. So I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is. But, I don't know. It's just been a weird day, weird time. But I'm going to go ahead and end this here because, yeah. I still got my food set and I hadn't even ate it. And hopefully I can watch some TV. But if not, I'll be doing some stuff on my phone and everything, I guess. Killing time. But life is hard. And people make it harder on each other for some fucking reason. And that's the reason I'm like, I'm not a person. Like, sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm not a person for the majority. Like, because I try to not make things harder on people. I really do. I try to not make things harder on others. I try to make things easy. Even if it means making it harder on myself. At least that's the way I've always been. I don't know about being that way anymore because I'm tired. And so maybe I need to take a break and I do need to be selfish. But I'm afraid if I get on the selfish bullet train to hell, the narcissist, and you're just like everybody else and I hate you and this and that, and I don't know if I'll be able to get off. Because I done been on that train once before in my life. When my grandfather died, the one that I miss so much, I had been trained so well that I thought it was my other grandfather. And I started crying, and they said that they didn't know that I cared that much about my grandfather. And my response was, yeah, I love him. I love all my grandparents. I remember saying something along that line. Or maybe I didn't say it and I just thought it. And I was like, oh, wow, they think I don't love anybody. Fuck, But I remember being like, I'm not going to get my $2 on the weekend. Because my mom's dad, he always gave us like $2 every Sunday when he would come over. That was my response. I had been trained to be narcissist. I had been trained to be one when I was little. They tried to bring me up and let me be the probably like golden child or of equal, but I knew something was wrong with that. And whenever I said that, to them, and they said, "No, not him, your other grandfather." And I just hopped up, like dried up my tears, and was like, "Oh, okay." Because I done foreseen, I done had a vision, like the last time we went and seen him at the nursing home. Like, I done had a comfort, not of knowing he was dying, but a comfort of, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, literally, like I seen him, and it's like I had this gift when I was younger where I would see this light in people's eyes, and I knew I would never see them alive again. And my grandfather is the first that I can like fully recall that with. I think I might have had it with my great grandmother and my uncle Glenn, which also passed around the same time as my grandfather, and maybe my great grandmother on the other side of the family, I do believe, but I think I was like 2 or so. I don't know, I don't know. I can't remember. But for as far as a full on, like, wow, I seen this light, and what does this light mean? And it meant that they were going to die, and I was never going to see them again, you know? And so, anyways, it was fucked up. And I actually had to pray for that to go away when I was pregnant with my daughter because I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, I was freaking the fuck out. Because I was like, and I seen it with Steven and all that and everything, and that's what's got me even more fucked up and shit. But, because it's like, I always, you know, and I've had a lot of death in my family. And so it's like, was I supposed to prevent their death, you know? And granted, like, if it's like a vision and something that's right then and there, and like, I can turn the wheel to keep a car wreck from happening, you know, or something like that, yeah, I do that. But these visions that I would have knowing that they're going to die and they're going to depart and not be here anymore, it was nothing that I had control over. Instead, it was more like a peace and a serenity, like, you know, let it go, like, you know, let them go, you know. But that was my response. Was I cried because I thought it was the other grandfather, and then they told me it wasn't, and I I was like crying because I didn't think I would get $2 on the weekend anymore. And even though I was crying too, because yes, I did love them, it's like my brain was so hardwired on narcissism at that time, at such a young age, at the age of 7, you know. And I remember whenever I realized, oh, it was the other grandfather, you know, they told me, and I got up, I didn't cry. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's like I done knew he was gonna die the last time I'd seen him at the nursing home. And I remember walking out and going to my room and sitting on my bed and thinking to myself, now, Heather, there's something wrong about everything that you just did and everything that you just experienced in the way that you experienced it. They didn't get on to me for it. My parents didn't give a shit what my reaction was for the most part. They were so caught up in their own reactions, you know, crying, devastated, this and that and everything. They didn't care, you know. And I remember, like, sitting there, like, after I left the room and they told me, and sitting there and just being like, wow, what the fuck has somebody done to your brain for you to be like this? Like, I'm 7 years old and I'm thinking that. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck has somebody said to you to make you feel like that? You know? And, like, you should be more, you know, crying and upset and all this. And I thought, but I'm not, because he went to heaven. That's what went through my head. I'm not, because he went to heaven. And so I'm like, I can't really cry about it. And I never really cried about my grandfather, like, you know, being dead and stuff like that. Not because I don't want to, not because I don't feel the need to, but because it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't occur, because it's like, he's in heaven. Now, I cry now, especially, you know, I miss him. I cry, you know, for that reason, but, like, and then even at that, that's selfish, you know, and that's the thing, too. Like, I remember being in fucking church at like 5 years old, and 4 and 5 years old. I remember sitting in church, and it's almost like the people in New Orleans, like, and who knows, maybe in a past life I was from friggin' New Orleans, who knows. But I remember like everybody talking about loved ones passing away, and death and all that, and when you die, and you can go to hell as long as you've done something bad, but if you're a good person, you're going to go to heaven, And so that whole gist of all that and everything, and like I remember sitting there and being like, why are people, like I done knew like at the age of 4 that life was hard. It was always going to be hard, and that when you died, you else went to hell because you were a bad person, and you were going to have it a hell of a lot worse than you've ever had it here. Oh, are you? Or you're going to go to heaven, and it's going to be better than it's ever been, And it's going to be better than you can possibly even imagine, depending on how, you know, good you live your life, and stuff. And so, anyways, like, I remember being like, why are people crying when people die? I don't get it. Like, shouldn't you be happy for them? Like, they just lived a miserable life on this planet. Like, shouldn't you be like, yeah, they made it to heaven? Instead of, I miss them, I wish they were here. Why? So they can have, like, I remember being little and literally having the thought of, like, why? So they can fall and have boo-boos again, so they can get their legs and knees, and I just, oh my God, like, I've always been very intellectual thinker or emotional or whatever you want to call it, like deep thinker, ever since I was itty bitty. And that's the thing too that really pisses me off about people that are like, oh, children are stupid and you can do whatever and they're not going to pick up on it. Children pick up on everything you do. I don't care if they're mentally handicapped. I don't care if they have Down syndrome. I don't care if they're autistic. I don't care what their fucking medical diagnosis is. I don't care if they're a fucking sociopath. I don't care what the fuck they are, says the world, and as defined, by the psyche and the mind and the this and that. They pick up on every single thing that you do. And even though they may not pick up on it in the ways that you see and perceive picking up, because you perceive, like a child, you'll tell them to pick up their shoes 1,800 fucking times, not literally, but still you'll be like, pick up your shoes, put them in your room, pick up your shoes, put them in your room. And they don't listen, and they don't hear you, and they say that they don't hear you, and they literally don't in that moment and everything. It is still a vibration of your energy that you are sending out. And that's just like, who was it? Madonna didn't even let her children, I think, watch TV for the longest. And that's kind of like a little bit of what I did with my kid. And that's the reason my kid didn't watch porn at my house. No, she watched it at my parents' house. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Really wanted my little girl seeing that. Having to talk to her about it. But anyways, and my niece too. Y'all are great grandparents. Woo! But anyways, that's the reason. It's like we watch DVDs. We don't need cable. We don't need that access, that amount of access. And then if we did, then I would have to monitor that. And I even monitor the DVDs that I buy. I make sure to not buy a lot of scary stuff and not to buy a lot of adult stuff, if you will. And I don't even like own anything adult, as like guys would put, like, for as far as anything porn, or no, it's not in my house. It's not in my possession. I don't do that. That's who I am. But every time you do anything, you are setting off a vibration. So when you sit there and, for instance, you even like hell, I mean, it could be as innocent as masturbate. You know, like you're an adult, you're masturbating. You know, it could be as innocent as that. And yeah, I'm not afraid to fucking talk about shit. But, anyways, it could be as innocent as that. You are setting off a vibration. And even though your child may be down the hall, in the next room, you know, or whatever, or not even in the house, you are still the parent. There is still a connection there. Even if the child is spending the night at a friend's house, you know, you are still sending off a vibration that initially affects them. Cause and effect. Everything affects something. What does it affect? It affects everything. The ripple effect. You know, like it's all there. And I don't understand how some people don't get that. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope everybody's doing good. Keep putting your best foot forward. If you don't agree with me, fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. But at the same time, like, I don't get why you want to let me know. Like, I don't know. Like, I like discussions. You know, I like people that are like, don't, you know, and that they don't come with hate, you know. And in all honesty, though, I haven't met anybody that can't do, you know, that can do that. Everybody comes with hate. Everybody, you know, I disagree. And, well, let me tell you. And they get real heated and real. God, I wish I could find somebody to talk to. God, can I hear your voice? Like, please? Like, I need somebody to talk to. But, anyways. I'm going to let you go. I hope everybody's doing good. Keep putting your best foot forward. You need to talk to me, hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and I'll catch you later. If you like my videos, you know, comment, share, like, subscribe. I'll catch you later. Bye.